Welcome back to God's Autobiography. My name is still Stephen French, and I've got a lot of things I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I want to try to spill some of them out here. More just in the quickness of how I think of them, because I think these topics deserve research from smarter people, and maybe I will try to take on that challenge eventually. But I've been thinking a lot about consciousness. I've been thinking a lot about will and free will, and been thinking a lot about death. Don't know which one is more interesting to me, but I would like to consider more about death with the preface of free will. I was in Colorado, and I spoke with my homie Dylan. He runs Torque Tricking, and he and Rudy, and they run Torque Talks, which is just a podcast, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 2-hour form factor of conversations with trickers, usually more about tricking, but Dylan and I are good homies when it comes to just thinking and talking, so I kind of took that astray. We need to do another talk and actually talk about tricks. But I had asked him a question about consciousness because I feel that I am losing faith in the idea of free will. Now, I don't want to dive too much into that right here, right now, but the basic of it is every decision that I or you or anyone has ever made has only happened once. We live in this continuum of the future turning into the past, and in every moment, in every decision, we make one choice, no matter what that choice is, and we have yet to even once been given the chance to go back and make another choice. It is because of that I have no reason to believe that I made that choice. There's no reason for me to think that if I knew the position of every atom or every molecule or every quark, if you knew the data of absolutely everything in a particular moment of now, you could effectively predict the next moment. I think it might be unreasonable for us to ever have that much data, but I do think that is the case. I would like to be disproven, because it'd be nice to think that my choices are mine, and I'm going to continue living as if they are. But that's just something I want to think about that. It's something I want people to think about and discuss with me. But that brings me into kind of the, I guess, a theme that I've been living by, a rule that any situation I find myself in, I try to handle it as if I am deliberately there. Again, I might not be deliberately anywhere if we don't have any control over our choices. But that makes thinking about that and extrapolating it further into time, which I heard a fun quote today: the future is where you go to die. Thinking about the future, and then thinking about, in more particular, that death. We are all terrified of death that happens no matter what, both the death and the terror. It is rare to find someone who is actually okay with the idea, and even if they say they are, we all feel pain, we all feel fear. Put them in that setting and they will most likely, if not every time, be afraid of death. Extremely rare, which are exceptions that I believe prove the rule, that death is scary. It seems to be final. We have no idea what happens after. We cannot know what happens after, because then if somebody dies and we bring them back, in a sense they didn't die, so they don't have memory of what happened after. I have no idea. I have no idea what happens after life, if anything does. But I have been thinking more of the past maybe few months, this could be past few years, subconsciously leading me to this idea that I am extremely fascinated with death, more so mine than anyone else's, because it's the only one I'm going to experience. I've had many conversations with people asking, how do you want to die, or how do you not want to die? And I held a belief that I believe most people at least visit, that it would be ideal to die in my sleep, not experience it at all. Just go to bed expecting to wake up. In that state of sleep in which I cannot remember, I stop existing. I don't experience a death. It goes on. I just don't wake up. I have no problem with that. You can't really have a problem with that. It sounds pretty ideal. But I'm now changing my mind. I guess maybe I have changed. I don't know. I would very much so like to experience my death in its totality. I hope that when I perish, if I do, in case technology can keep us going, that I am aware of it. I hope that I am in a stage of life in which I can embrace that moment, but I long to experience it in a very odd way. I am in no rush to die by any means. I want to set some goddamn goals. I want to break some records. I would love to be the longest living human. I already very much so want to be the oldest human to do a backflip because I think they're so goddamn easy. But when I die, I want to experience it. And I'd talk to some buddies about, like, oh, well, what if it's awful? What if I'm burning to death? What if I'm drowning? Situations which you will experience the happening. Even in those situations, currently, I believe that I would like to experience. I would like to be aware. I would like them to be in my noose. I want to understand what's happening. I want to be ready for it. I want to feel what it's like for this incorporeal part of me to be separated from my fleshy vessel. We are seemingly just brains that ride in a autonomous carcass. I'm so interested in what it is like, and I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if I should be so interested in it. I have no fucking clue. This whole thing is just me not having a goddamn clue. Summation, I want to live forever. Given the option, I would. I think I would love to be the paradox that comes with that reality. But if, or more likely when I die, I want to experience it. Like, what the fuck do I make of that? How do I think of this? What do I... Has anyone lived through that and during the moment thought that it was correct? Lived through death. That's kind of weird. I don't know how to think of that at all. But yeah. How do I want to die? How do you want to die? Do you want to be aware of it? Do you have any more thoughts on that line of thinking? Let's all live happy lives. Let's die happy deaths. And let's figure out what it means to experience. Give Chad.